A very good morning to Miss Nuraisa and my fellow friends. My name is Leonard John, and today I would like to talk about introduction of risk assessment. Risk assessment is a study of work process to highlight important hazards that could harm employees or the public. Hazards can range from dangerous tasks to the use of hazardous substances, as well as psychological stress after the risk assessment. It should be written up and distributed to employees at all levels. Objective of this risk assessment is to evaluate the steps that must be taken by the company in order to reduce the number of workplace injuries and illness, and to assist employers and self-employed workers in defining the actions necessary to those who may be in danger in the risk assessment. Scope of this risk assessment is used to estimate the possible dangers to human health and the environment created by the current and potential future conditions. The risk assessment work plan is meant to include the majority of the risk assessment components so that any differences can be resolved before the risks are computed and the report is written. That's all from me. Thank you.
Risk assessment process. Risk assessment is a process to identify potential hazard and analyze what could happen if hazard occur. A business impact analysis (BIA) is the process for determining the potential impact resulting from the interruption of time, sensitive or critical business process. It's important to note the difference between hazard and risk. A hazard is anything that can cause harm, including work accident, emergency situation, toxic chemical, employee conflict, stress, and more. A risk, on the other hand, is the chance that a hazard will cause harm. There are numerous hazards to consider. For each hazard, there are many possible scenarios that could unfold depending on timing, magnitude, and location of the hazard. Consider hurricane. A hurricane forecast to make landfall near your business could change direction and go out to sea. The storm could intensify into a major hurricane and make landfall. The goal of risk assessment is providing an analysis of possible threat, preventing injury or illness, meeting legal requirements, creating awareness about hazard and risk, creating an accurate inventory of evaluated assets, justify the cost of managing risk, determining the budget of remediate risk, and understanding the return of investment. Hazard has three types. Natural hazard has biological, foodborne illness that make employer to make a live. Second is human-caused hazard, accident in workplace, accident, and mechanical breakdown. Intentional act are labor strike, robbery, workplace violence, and demonstration. Lastly, technological hazard are information technology is loss of connectivity, hardware failure, corrupted data, and application failure. Utility outage is communication, electrical power, water, and air conditioner. Fire or explosion is fire that from structure, explosion from chemical, gas, and process.
Hello, my name is Nushrika Elizabeth Abdali. I'm a presenter for the 22 days of in the information. Number 1 is forecast and analysis. From the flows that we can control the organization property but not accurate information, such as information about the internal working of the organization and also about the internal involvement. Information is collected continuously to identify problem and find solution. With the analysis that has been done, we can detect the risks and also how to prevent those risks. Number 2 is risk types. From the brochure, we can find out the risks and dangers that are common. From there, we will fix the dangerous risks so that no injuries occur, such as repairing high-risk areas and providing operated venues for those areas. Example, dangerous we in the office, electronic place, store, of course, employer place, entry and X areas, and so on. Number 3 is questionnaire for the public. In questionnaire, we were able to identify the risks that exist in the store of code of electronic-based employer equipment and other from the questionnaire. We will also and various to prevent the occurrence of risks, namely to create to store goods and so on. Lastly is share opinion. By sharing our opinion, we can find out some of the risks that are dangerous for employers, so we will find way to avoid the occurrence of unwanted risks. With the income of other employers, we can get many situations or to reduce the risk in the office. For example, just always check to go air condition place so that the risk can be reduced. In addition, the person or safety equipment.
Hi, my name is Nurani Prativi. My ID is number DAM03211013. Today I will talk about the classification of the risk assessment approach. Communication and consultation may take place within the organization or between the organization and stakeholder. It is very rare that only one person will hold all the information needed to identify risk to a business or even to an activity or project. Therefore, it is important to identify the various stakeholders who will assist in completing this information. Then, the aim of risk identification is identify possible risks to make effect. Either negatively or positively, the objective of the business and the activity under analysis after that may have identified many risks, and it is often impossible to try address all the identified. Also, risk analysis step will help in determining the risk of having consequences or impacts greater than others. Compare the levels of the risk found during the analysis process with the picture of one established risk criteria. The result of the risk assessment is priority list and decides whether the risk is acceptable or requires treatment. The risk is acceptable when the potential loss from the risk is not large enough to warrant spending money to avoid it. Risk treatment is about considering options for treating risks that are not considered acceptable, either to reduce or eliminate negative consequences or to reduce the likelihood of adverse event. Risk treatment should also be aimed at increasing positive results.
Assalamualaikum, nama saya Batrisha Unia binti Rahim, nombor ID Plaza DEM03 21035. Today I'm going to present about risk response assessment plan. So the first one, I got hazard, which is the first one, electric shock, due to using faulty or burning electric equipment. So the risk to get electric shock and burn from using faulty electric equipment. Electric fault can be also lead to a fire. So likelihood, we got 3 possible consequences, 4 major and 12 high. Existing risk control, none. Risk recommended for this hazard is frequently do a safety check of the electric installation, such as damaged electric, for example, broken light. So the second one is not using a right display screen equipment. For hazard, we get risk on posture, body and gut pain, such as headache or sore eyes. This is because the lighting is poor. So likelihood 2 unlikely, 2 moderate, and 4 moderate. So the existing risk control we have, and also risk recommended. Monitor suitable time for ensuring to get the breaks away from the computer. So the third one is how we handle office equipment and others. So the hazard we got is cause back pain and serious injuries for carrying heavy objects. And also likelihood 3 possible, 2 major, also 6 moderate. Existing risk control we have. And also risk recommended use another alternative, which using a trolley to transfer all the boxes. The fourth one, having some issues and stress. It will because affect employer to work, cause a loss of motivation to work, such a lack of job control. Likelihood 3 likely, 3 minor, also 9 moderate. Existing risk control, none. which recommended everyone should know what their duties and responsibility by own self. So the fifth one, manage to shelf with the right level. For example, hazard. So the hazard we can get from the office is things in high places might fall and make the scene worse. Likelihood, 2 likely, 3 moderate, also 6 moderate. Testing risk control is recommended with using tools to help reach the height things such as ladder or chair. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad Dinaika bin Arifin. I want to present about the conclusion in this assignment. The risk analysis process assists the effective and efficient operation of the organization by identifying those risks which require attention by management. They will need to prioritize risk control action in terms of their potential to benefit the organization. Therefore, employers in the office or anywhere should be careful while doing the work. Should always be careful not to accept risks while doing work, such as lifting heavy objects or the like. And then, we must always ensure that the workplace is tidy and organized so that no untoward accident occur. Risk assessments will be the norm in the future as they are required and referenced by more regulation and standards going forward, just as safety professionals have been accepted to be competent in OSHA regulation and their compliance in the past. They will be accepted to lead hazard analysis and risk assessments.